Okay. Now we're up. And I believe we are live.
Welcome to a bright and early version of Beer Fueled Fantasy Football Sunday edition.
This actually really is Coffee Fueled Fantasy Football this morning.
Yes.
Hashtag fuck off London.
Yeah, London, I'm not happy about this. And apparently we get to do this 3 more fucking times this year.
There's 3 London games?
4. 3 more times.
I hate my life. Oh, at least I get to have some Bortles in the morning. What gets better than that?
Bortles in the morning, Bortles in the evening,
Bortles
Bortles
at supper time.
All right, so let's cover some big news items we got this morning. As I covered in and Out last night, and I was confirmed this morning, it sounds like all major skill players for the Dolphins are going, so they are still good to go against a bad Jets team. You can keep them in your lineup, and if they're not, you should get them in your lineup. In fact, I need to make a switch in one league right now that I forgot about.
There's a note earlier also that Terrence West is going to be active today.
Expect him to be limited, though. They're going to try to protect his hamstring injury or calf injury or whatever it was.
Oh, I love that idea because I need Buck Allen bad.
Buck Allen, save us. Beyond that, what was the other big news I saw? Jordan Reed most likely missing is probably the biggest news, so get him out. There's 2 really good replacements you might be able to grab. Ben Watson, but you need to grab him very quickly here because they kick off in about 50 minutes. You can get him in. He should be solid, especially in a PPR format. Or the other option is Vernon Davis if you want to see if Jordan Reed may go.
Can I ask you a listener league related question?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on fast tracking trades on a Sunday morning? Because I tend to generally fall away from that.
I personally am pro fast tracking trades as long as there's nothing that looks collusion questionable. Just because why not? But
yeah, I think my why not centers around. I don't think anything looks collusional. I just had it happen to me last week, and I was kind of pissed off about it. But
a trade was fast-tracked on you?
Yeah. Like Sunday morning, right before shit started.
I mean, I think if you accept a trade, you should be ready to act on the trade whenever it gets pushed through, whether it's automatically by the system or by the commissioner.
Well, it wasn't. It was for the guy that was playing me that had a trade fast track, not me.
See, I personally don't mind it. I just know that's kind of the way the game works, and if that works out in his favor, cool. It could also end up biting him in the ass if they fast track a trade. So
it doesn't bother me. So actually, I don't know that I can fast track this.
If you don't have it set up in the settings, you may not be able to push it through.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
It's set to league vote.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Then the response will be nope. You are waiting until Tuesday then.
Okay. So,
any other major decisions you need my opinion on this morning?
I'm going to set my lineups live on the show. So here we go. I will not start with the listener league. I got to figure out something to do about Rex Burkhead, though. I don't want to talk about it. J.J. is questionable. He's going to go. I mentioned on the preview show that I was going to look and see what I had over Diggs. Looks like my options are Corey Davis that's not playing and a Marvin Jones. So I'm sticking with Diggs because I don't like Marvin Jones more than Stephon Diggs, even in a barn burner.
Yeah, because you figure that
it's a volume thing.
Also Jones is probably going to get Trufant.
Yeah, it's definitely a volume thing. My only other option here would be Tevin Coleman or Shane Vereen. I'm going to go with Tevin or Jonathan Stewart.
I actually like Stewart.
I was going to say the same thing. I like Stewart the most in that matchup.
The only thing that gives me any pause is Ryan Khalil, their center, is not playing this week.
Yeah. I'm going to start Stewart over Coleman, I think. I like Coleman kind of too, but I think Dan alluded to it. Even though he kind of saved his game with a touchdown, the passing volume hasn't necessarily been there for him, even in full PPR. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take the matchup of Stewart versus the Saints there. And that's it for that league. That was Brent's league. In the Dynasty League, should I play Cooper Kupp? Not a real question.
Oh, right.
You already played. I'm
I'm
throwing you shade for Cooper Kupp having 2 catches. I don't know why I'm throwing you wanting, him to kick the pants off of you.
Yep.
Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders both flexed.
Jermaine Kearse or Chris Thompson in a flex position, full point PPR.
Oh, man. Probably Kearse.
Okay.
I like Chris Thompson a lot. My only concern ever with Chris Thompson is just that he's only a third down back.
Yeah, he only gets like 6 or 7 touches a game.
Right, so he's great for floor, but I think that Kearse probably has a similar floor, being the only pass catcher with the Jets.
And that game should be in garbage time early.
Yeah, so...
Jermaine Kearse, Allen Robinson 2015 version.
Yeah. I already kind of mentioned what starting Cooper Kupp did for me. It made me put Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders in my 2 flex spots, which means that I can't start Buck Allen in this league, because I'm not going to start Buck Allen over Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders.
Aw.
In a bad matchup.
But why not?
I mean, do you want to win? Because I can. Hunter Henry or Cameron Brate?
Desert Hill in full point PPR this week. Des.
Hunter Henry or Cameron Brate?
Hunter Henry. I was not happy with Brate's snap shares week 1, and I'm falling away from him.
Yeah,
I'm falling out of love with him.
I wasn't either. He was supposed to be my safe option in this league, but yeah, Hunter Henry's a better option. I can't do anything about McManus because this is on Fab.
Because we saw what Ertz did against Kansas City last week. Hunter Henry should be able to do stuff as long as they get him the goddamn snaps.
We would certainly freaking hope so, and I'd hope he'd get the snaps now that Gates has his record. Stafford, Zeke, Montgomery, Thomas. Okay. I got a decision here. I'm going to have to make a Jamison Crowder call. Never mind. No, I'm not. I'm not starting Mike Wallace or Juju Smith-Schuster over Jamison Crowder. James White, absolutely, by the way. James White or Jonathan Stewart this week?
Stewart, but not by much. And that's half point. If it's full point, I'm going White.
It's half point.
Half point, I'm going Stewart. But that's how close it is. Is that half point is where I would flip them.
Let's see how I've got it ranked.
I've got White at like 25, and I've got Stewart at like 22.
Let's see what I've got.
I forgot to fucking drop McManus in a league. Whoops.
Yeah, me too.
And it's a waiver clearing league, so I really don't want to swap them now in case I pull a U.
Yeah.
Oh god damn it! I still got the Giants defense in this league too. Fuck that. There's got to be somebody better.
James White's my 26. Jonathan Stewart's my 16.
Titans defense against Seattle or Giants defense against Philly?
Man.
Or Packers defense against Cincinnati?
Actually, Packers defense against Cincinnati, I might like the most out of that based on all things considered.
Plus next week they get the Bears. So.
Right. I said Giants defense against Philly.
Yeah.
I don't like that one. I don't like that one, I don't think.
No.
Because I like Philly's offense.
And also I think that the Giants are going to make that game script go tits up early because that offense is awful.
Me too. And the problem with Seattle, Tennessee is that Tennessee's defense is not necessarily great. You've seen a game where they were good against the run, a game where they were bad against the run. You've seen both games where they give up a decent amount of yardage to wide receivers. And even though Seattle's offense has looked bad, if all of us are expecting them to take a step towards the right, I think that they're too explosive, and I think that Green Bay against Cincinnati is a better matchup just because Cincinnati generally has fewer weapons.
Oh, and the other reason I have to go with the Packers is because I need the Packers to clear waivers. It's going to clear right at noon, and they're a 3 o'clock game, so I can actually get them in my fucking lineup.
Right. I think I'm going to leave James White in this league.
Actually.
Just because I don't want if Stewart duds, and I don't think he will, but if that's a McCaffrey game for some reason, I don't want to be too exposed. It's one of those things where I love Stewart the matchup, but do I trust Jonathan Stewart? I think is what that comes down to. Anything fun in this league? Did I win my claim over Cameron? Nope. I'm going to see if I get anything better than Cameron Brate and the Bears defense out there to start.
I will say I hate leagues that have waivers set up after waivers clear, which both the Listener League and the Dynasty League are set up that way.
Oh, shit. I didn't. I'll change that next year because I didn't mean to set up the Listener League that way because I fucking hate not being able to get free guys after waivers clear.
Especially on Sundays, it's like, oh shit, there's an emergency. Oh, I can't grab anybody because they're going to lock before the waivers
run. Ben Watson or Cameron Brate?
Ben Watson.
All right, I'm going to add him. I'm dropping Cameron Brate. We're going to start Ben Watson. Pour that 40 out all over again. Oh, damn it. I can't work computers, breaking news.
That's a problem because you kind of need that for money.
I do. It's just browser tabs. Browser tabs are difficult. Okay. Any of the following defenses more than the Bears against Pittsburgh? Browns against Indy. And that's probably the only one that's even more considering.
I'd rather start Pittsburgh against the Bears, even if it is a road game.
Yeah.
I don't think the Steelers don't look like they're ever going to be a really high-scoring defense. Week one, they got bailed out by
I've got the Bears defense right now.
Oh.
But I like that front seven against Ben on the road.
Actually, then I flipped my answer. I prefer having the Browns and. I thought you said you had the Steelers defense, which I would have much preferred that.
I don't. Oh, good God. Well, Garcon would have been the right choice, but I can't do that. Flexing J.J. Nelson, Chris Carson, James White, or Alvin Kamara.
So Chris Carson, James White, or Kamara.
Or J.J. Nelson.
Since Nelson might not play, I'm going with James White. Actually, I might have gone James White anyway.
Is it not going to be 100% either? Able to practice on a limited basis from Thursday through Saturday. Yeah, James White. I don't like the fact that... I really don't like the fact that J.J. Nelson was limited. Because even if he's healthy, when you got a speed guy like that, if they're dealing with... What is it, a hammy for him? I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad news, Bears. Welp, I'm going to have to start Adrian Peterson over Rex Burkhead. Tell me how good I feel about that one.
You feel fan-fucking-tastic. You're only slightly thinking about killing yourself.
Yep. No, here's another one that's gross. I've got J.J. Nelson in my third wide receiver slot who may or may not play. Josh Bellamy is my current flex. This is a listener league, 16 team. Josh Bellamy is my current flex player because of the depth of this fucking league.
You set it up. This is all on you.
No, I love it. I really do love it. Rex Burkhead. So Josh Bellamy or Cameron Brate? Because I'm in a world where I might be flexing a tight end.
And not a good one. Well, considering I don't even have Bellamy ranked, I'm probably going with Cameron Brate.
Okay.
And because you know there's no way Bellamy's catching a touchdown.
No, he'll drop it.
He'll drop it.
Although, he did put up 7 points last week and 4.2 the week before, which is the point that we're at in the league of this depth.
Oh, God. We might go 0-3 in this podcast league. Losing David Johnson in Allen Robinson week 1 really makes things difficult.
Yeah, no, that doesn't vote well.
We're projected to lose by 5 to 4th and long, which we still need to get them on for an episode.
We do.
We're starting Jake Cutler. We've got Golden Tate, Jermaine Kearse, and Demaryius Thomas going at receiver. I unfortunately left Pierre Garcon on the bench in favor of Jermaine Kearse, which bit us in the ass.
Yeah.
Because I like Kearse this week. I don't know that I like him 21.2 points much.
Me either. I've got one more thing.
And then our running backs are Crowell and White. So that's awesome.
I think James White's going to have a big week, though.
And then Ben Watson is our tight end. Defense is Baltimore, and Giorgio Tavascio is our kicker, or as I like to call him, the Italian Stallion.
The Italian style. I like it.
I am way too invested in the Italian Stallion in leagues this year. If he starts sucking, I'm going to be in a lot of kicker trouble.
Yeah. Speaking of things that involve...
Are you in any Survivor leagues, or were you completely out after week one?
Fuck the Patriots. I'm completely out after week one. Oh, that reminds me, though. I got to set my one-timer league for Scott Fish. So, Buck Allen, Chris Carson, or J.J. Nelson.
I mean, that's Buck Allen by a mile.
Okay. Jacksonville's defense scares me.
After what we saw in week 2?
Yeah, but what we saw in week 1.
I mean, they gave up like 125, 130 rushing yards last week.
Okay. And I think Dan brought up the point that they're missing Marshall Yanda, too.
They are missing Marshall Yanda.
So, I thought it felt like it was worth asking. Granted, that's still probably better than Seattle's line.
I would say so.
I feel like...
Though by PFF rankings, they're only the 3rd worst offensive line in the league.
Oh, well, that's good. I need my fantasy league. I gotta set my one-timer league.
In a standard league, would you start Mike Gillislee, Demaryius Thomas, or Larry Fitzgerald? Or Jarvis Landry?
Demaryius Thomas, probably. Standard?
Yeah, no PPR at all. This is the stupid family league that I got auto-drafted.
I would start Demaryius Thomas.
Against Buffalo?
Who's more likely to score a touchdown?
Gillislee. Demaryius doesn't score a ton of touchdowns. His normal yearly average is like 6.
Yeah, I'm just following the narrative that we both had that Gillislee doesn't fall into the end zone this week.
But if I'm picking bets on who is more likely to fall into the end zone,
yeah, I just tend to gravitate towards, if I'm giving the advice, that's my tiebreaker. I'm going to use it too.
if this was half or full point PPR, this wouldn't even be a question.
Yeah,
It's just because it's standard, which I never play. This is my only. And actually, I have 2 standard leagues, and both drive me bananas. Because half point and full point is so much better. So get your commissioners to switch your leagues to PPR, people.
yes, and yes.
All right.
Standard is outdated. It's old. It's boring.
And it doesn't reflect where the league is right now.
No,
That's the biggest issue, is because there's so many players who are just pass catching down backs, which they're incredibly useful in half point or full point PPR, and they're basically worthless players in standard.
which sucks because they have a huge role on their team. So, and honestly, with the depth of running backs and the way the league's evolved, you have to, if you want a mimicry, which is what I think fantasy football should be.
Yeah, you're playing fantasy GM, so it should be as close to actual NFL as possible.
Right.
Now, there's some rules in the NFL that I don't like to mimic because I think they're anti-competitive to the game. For example, I don't like doing waivers like the NFL does, and I prefer FAB. But for the most part, if it doesn't affect competition, I prefer it being as close to actual NFL rules as possible, or the way the game is played.
I agree. Submit lineup. Okay. Well, the good news is this week my one-timer pick should be pretty freaking easy.
Who's your one-timer pick?
Well, one-time league, it's pick 6. If it actually wants to load.
So, Kenny Britt or Marcus Wheaton? Yes, that is a question.
Oh, fuck.
Is Wheaton playing this week?
Yes.
Then I'm taking Wheaton.
Yeah.
Britt can go fuck himself.
Yep. So my quarterback one-timer is going to be Cam Newton. 'Cause I feel like this is probably the only week I'm actually going to like Cam Newton.
Kroll versus Indy or C.J. Anderson versus Buffalo. I don't think you can possibly sit C.J. Anderson right now.
I don't think you can either. I like Crowell's matchup better, but I don't think that...
Anderson's looked really, really, really good. And then Alshon Jeffrey or Thielen. That's Jeffrey for sure, especially with
Easily.
Jenkins possibly not going.
Yeah, if Jenkins doesn't go, Jeffrey jumps up to a high end 2 for me. From a low end 2. I'm almost done jerking my own shit here. Phrasing. Where the fuck are you, Cam Newton? I feel like this is the only week I will actually want to start Cam Newton, so I better do it.
Yeah, when do they play New Orleans the second time? That'd be the only other time I might want to play
That's
him.
at home, though, so that could go ugly.
Their defense is still horse shit. It doesn't matter where they play.
True.
So big time Timmy Jim is pushing back on us when he asked us who we'd take, Dez or the Chargers. I'm assuming it's mainly just target volume for Dez over Hill.
Yeah, it's definitely target volume. And I don't like bust players. You give me a boomer bust player versus a guy that's guaranteed floor. I'm always going to take the guy that's guaranteed floor over the boomer bust player.
Anyone ready for some McCown action?
Oh God.
I guess that means you must be starting him.
Oh God, why? Of course, I'm starting Josh Bellamy when we think about where we're at with life. So
Somehow 32 vetoes in a 16-team league seems a bit excessive.
is that what it said for?
That's what Dan jokingly said when somebody asked if you can double vote in ESPN. Because apparently you can multiple vote in Yahoo leagues on trades right now. Like
Wow.
It's like a broken setting. So people like
So you can just cuck a trade?
you can just screw a trade over if you want.
Okay.
I think it's retarded. And I think trade vetoing is awful.
Oh, cool. Okay. The MFL mobile site is really fucking weird. I'm starting James White.
Well, that's because they don't have an official MFL mobile app, right? It's a third party.
No, I'm using the website,
Oh.
and the mobile website is just weird as shit.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to go on 3 in my family league that I auto-drafted. Awesome.
I'm going to go on 3 someplace, I guarantee it. Probably the listener league, I'm starting fucking Josh Bellamy. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at.
I should be 2-0 in the listener league. I lost that league by less than 2 points. We should be 1-1 in the podcast league. We lost that league by 0.8.
And do you know why I'm starting Josh Bellamy? So that I can actually be excited if you
I'm sorry.
fucking...
I was too nice. It was 0.08. We lost by.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's not my 4/10 point from not starting a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Any wide receiver?
You're welcome, Yanni.
Oh, Devontae Adams. I was like, any wide receivers I especially like this week? Devontae Adams, I think, falls into the category of wide receivers I specifically like this week.
I didn't know that the Pittsburgh-Chicago game was also an 8 o'clock kickoff because that game is currently showing a 0-0 score, and my Le'Veon Bell is locked in my lineup. So thankfully, that's not somebody I was having questions on.
Why is that? What? What?
I'm looking at Brent's league right now, and everyone has their kickoff times except for Le'Veon Bell. Just shows a 0-0 score.
Huh?
And he's locked.
Did we miss something?
So if you're going to try to move a Steeler into your lineup on ESPN, I'm not saying there's going to be a problem. I'm saying there might be a problem. So good luck.
Yeah, there could be a problem.
Oh, apparently Yanni thought that Josh McCown was starting for the Jaguars momentarily. He had an early morning brain fart. He forgot about the Bortles.
Wow. Well,
you motherfuckers act like you forgot about Blake.
so is this Jags-Ravens game an 8:30 kickoff? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. We still got time.
And I'm just going to do work for the 3 hours that we're at it so I can at least get paid to watch this London shit show.
Miller, Lamont, and I think I need another wide receiver and a tight end because it's at 6.
Devontae Parker, Larry Fitzgerald, or Stephon Diggs. I'm assuming we're all on the Parker train.
Yes. I'm also on the Parker train. That's going to be my other one-timer start if I haven't done it yet.
Alex Smith or Trevor Siemian? Smith has the better matchup.
Yeah, Smith. God, what type of world are we living in right now?
These are all probably listener league questions related to a 16-team super depth league. So
Yeah, true.
somebody's got to start some shitty players.
Which tight ends worth? Jack Doyle, maybe. As far as tight ends that are worth burning my one use of them on.
Yeah. I mean, the Browns are fucking atrocious against tight end.
Yeah, that's probably the best matchup.
They made Jesse James a top 3 play that week. Probably be the only time he gets top 3, except for maybe when he plays the Browns again.
Yep. Okay. Good to go. All right, let's scroll through my Twitter feed and see if there's anything fun there. And I don't think I've got any YouTube live comments here. It's really fucking early, guys.
I have no idea. I haven't even been paying attention. This is usually a struggle at 10:30 in the morning.
Right. Yeah, no, nothing yet.
I saw Jalen Ramsey is in, so he'll be good to go. All the Patriots skill players are supposed to go. Any other major news? Bradford is going to be week to week, so I think we're going to see Teddy again this year.
8 hours ago, Jason Moore tweeted out that Rob Kelly is out.
Is out?
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like Rob Kelly's out, so trade for or sign Samaje Perine.
Yeah, if he's available, I would grab and start Samaje Perine this week. He immediately goes into startable for me if he's playing. So I have not heard anything about Rob Kelly being out. I'd actually heard that he was going to go.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a Jason Moore tweet from 7 hours ago. So
Schefter's also saying the same thing. There
you go.
So there we go. Get Perine in your lineups. I'm going to tweet that out as well because that's pretty big news.
Everything. All kinds of Trump statements on that bullshit.
Yep. So does that bump Chris Thompson for you at all if Kelly's not playing?
Maybe a little bit, but like we saw last week, it didn't really help his load. I think if Perine struggles early, though, there's a script where he could end up in it.
Or if the game starts becoming a boat race.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Irsay.
What did he have to say?
Quote, I am troubled by the president's recent comments about our league and our players. Sports in America have the unique ability to bring people from all walks of life, from different points of view together to work toward or root for a common goal, and the Indianapolis Colts are proud to be part of that tradition in our home city and state. It's pretty much the same thing most others. There's 2 more paragraphs of that I'm not going to read, but pretty much the same shit.
Andy Dalton or Deshaun Kaiser?
Kaiser? Reluctantly? I just don't trust anything I've seen out of the Bengals, and I think that even with the new OC that it takes them a week or 2 to get shit right. So DeMarco Murray is expected to play, apparently.
Yep, but he will not be getting the majority of work. They're going to limit him.
I DFS started Derrick Henry for money purposes, so
I'm assuming you came in relatively cheap with because the
5,300. So he was about $2,000 cheaper than other top running backs. So that's why I went.
So
with
I'm
him.
guessing it'll be you and everyone else on the planet will be playing him this week.
Maybe anyone that's paying attention should be.
Well, and you thank the people who aren't when you're playing DFS, right?
What's that?
You thank the people who aren't because they're basically throwing free money into the pot for you.
Pretty much. Yep.
If you have a gambling addiction, though, please seek help.
Yeah, everything in my timeline.
God, Dalton or Kaiser? I responded, I guess Kaiser, question mark, kind of like I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I guess Kaiser.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. Oh, here we go. Here's some fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Start 2. Lynch, Dalvin Cook, Abdullah, Javorius Allen, Mike Gillislee. I think Lynch for sure, and then the other one's more questionable.
What were the other ones?
Dalvin Cook, Amir Abdullah, Javorius Allen, Mike Gillislee. So Gillislee's out for sure.
Probably Cook.
Probably Cook, but I want to check rankings.
I think I have Cook ahead of the. I know I've got Cook against the others. I'm pretty sure, or ahead of them.
All right.
You might have to beat my eye on that because my shit runs slow as fuck when I'm doing this.
With Perrine out, I think he means with Kelly out.
Perrine or Abdullah.
Yep.
Whew.
I think I'm still taking Abdullah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Abdullah's a better back. I think Perrine probably has more of a chance at hitting Pater, and that's just because they drop Abdullah out in red zone looks. And I think that even if Dwayne Washington's not going, that'll be Zach Zinner. But I like Abdullah's upside more. I don't know.
Okay, so checking show rankings.
It's actually really close for me.
Dalvin Cook, we have at 12. Yeah, he's definitely
he's the
Cook.
other one.
We actually have Cook over Lynch. No, we don't. I do. You guys don't.
Cam Newton or Matt Stafford?
Stafford's my number 1.
Stafford, I think, is my number 2. No, he might be 4. I don't remember. He's up there. I think you already asked. Maybe. Did you already ask that one? PPR start 2, Marvin Jones, Jamison Crowder, Marquise Lee, Tyrell Williams.
What was the question? Sorry.
PPR start 2, Marvin Jones, Jamison Crowder, Marquise Lee, or Tyrell Williams.
Crowder and Williams, I guess?
Yeah. It feels gross, but...
Yeah. Pick 2. I assume that's DeMarco Murray, Jordan Howard, Lamar Miller, Mixon, or Carson. I think that's got to be Miller and Carson, right?
Yeah.
God, you're starting Carson in an 8-team league. That feels gross.
In an 8-team league?
Yeah.
How are you in that situation?
Because he's got DeMarco Murray and Jordan Howard.
No.
Those were his 2 starters, but number 2 backs. He grabbed 3 backs early. He grabbed Murray, Howard, and Miller, and they have not worked out well for him.
No, and Howard's off the injury report with a shoulder thing, so that could be an okay go. We'll see how that works out. Flex PPR, Alan Hearns, Tyra Williams, Danny Amendola, Rashard Higgins.
Yeah, my concern with Howard is less injury and more game script.
Yeah.
I think that game could get out of hand early.
Which means it'll be a lot of Cohen. Hearns, Tyrell Williams, Danny Amendola, Rashard Higgins, PPR.
So Danny Amendola, Rashard Higgins, and who?
Tyrell Williams.
Pick one?
Or Alan Hearns, pick one.
Amendola.
Okay.
If it's full point PPR.
It is. With T. West active, does he start? Terrence West, Buck Allen, Marshawn Lynch, Gio Bernard, probably Buck. No, Marshawn.
No,
Marshawn.
Lynch is top 10 this week.
Marshawn. Sorry, I forgot he was there, even though I just read his name.
Yeah, Lynch should be in all your lineups. If I get a question about Lynch, you better have already started Todd Gurley and Carlos Hyde, and you're considering the flex versus like him and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, PPR, Mark Ingram, Jordan Howard, Samaje Perine, Jonathan Stewart. That's Stewart for me.
Stewart and Perine would be my second choice.
Well, you want to get a start one? Zeke, CJ Anderson, or Dalvin Cook? Zeke?
That's Zeke, but it's close between him and CJ. Cook's the third by quite a bit.
Yeah.
I got Cook in the mid-teens.
TJ from Loaded Box tweeting at the president. All right, let's go fist fight one-on-one. Me and you, drop those gloves.
I love DJ.
Well, if NFL fans refuse to go to games until players stop disrespecting our flag and country, you'll see change, fire, suspend. Like, Jesus Christ. You are actually making Roger Goodell look like a sane human being. Do you know how hard that is? You know how hard it is to make NFL players and NFL fans actually side with Roger Goodell on something.
Mm-hmm. And I commented this on the News Shot episode yesterday, which I'm pissed that I had to bring up politics in the News Shot episode.
I hate bringing up politics and football anyway, because sports is supposed to be your escape from that, and we can't do that this week.
Yeah, politics is in so many things in our world, and because it's literally the country we live in is the definition of politics, it is going to be in most things. But having sports be mostly a kind of a way to get away from that, along with other entertainment venues, is kind of a nice thing. It's like, hey, I can take a break for a few hours, watch a football game, and kind of just turn my brain off and enjoy myself. But now we're gonna hear about this all frickin' day.
Right, and you can, and the anthem protester once again going to be brought into the spotlight. And if you're against the anthem protest, the one thing that you've been wishing for, stop giving them attention. Well, now that it's been made a storyline, you just put it front and center.
Yeah, now it's a giant magnifying glass on it.
Yep, you just put it front and center, and the difference is that, like it or not, the majority of Americans are going to agree with people being able to exercise their freedom of speech, whether they agree with the cause or not, whether they agree with the stance or not, being able to exercise their freedom of speech without getting fired or benched.
Mm-hmm. And specifically, there should be no political call for these people to be punished for their actions, because that is grossly inappropriate.
It's grossly unconstitutional.
So yeah, there's a giant magnifying glass on this now. The one comment I did say on the good side of this whole mess is, at least it seems like everyone from the NFL seems to be in lockstep on this of how they addressed it.
Every owner I've seen, every owner,
the majority of
every
players, the Player Association, Goodell, anybody who's said anything on this officially seems to be in lockstep in saying hitting the exact same points.
Well, congratulations, Mr. President. You just unified the NFL. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah.
Apparently the Jags and Ravens are talking about what to do as a show of solidarity in London, so we could see something big here.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, considering they're playing in England and not in the United States, too.
Right,
so that may change things a little bit.
Hey, 8:30 in the morning, all eyes on them. They don't have anybody else to compete for spotlight with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that should be interesting. But yeah, I would not be surprised if at some point today we see an entire team kneeling.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, both teams kneeling entirely. I wouldn't be surprised either, because at the end of the day, it's about being able to exercise your freedom of speech, whether you agree with the stance or not.
Mm-hmm. And I wish the conversation could get away from just like it's the way they talk about it and this is more of a sports journalism issue, is, oh my God, you see this person kneeling, rather than actually talking about what they're actually protesting about with any sort of meaningful conversation. It's like they're talking about the act of protest instead of what they're protesting, so they're missing the entire fucking point.
So Robert Kraft, who was one of Trump's major campaign contributors, just released a statement and came out and just flat out said that he's deeply disappointed by the actions and the message that was sent. Mm-hmm. And that's
a supporter.
Yeah, and I would expect we will probably see the same from Saeed Khan and Jerry Jones, who were also supporters.
Mm-hmm. And there's one other. Is it McNair's the other big supporter too?
He already came out yesterday and spoke against it.
Mm-hmm. I knew there was 4 people who had donated significant money to the Trump campaign who were owners, but I knew Khan and Kraft were 2 of them.
Kroenke and Schneider are the other 2. Go figure.
Oh, God damn it.
Go figure.
If they can just get Spanos in there as well, I'll be real pissed.
Yeah, I've seen rumors this week that Goodell's going to try and they could be trying to force the Chargers to move back to San Diego because of the shitty attendance in LA for both teams.
Big time Timmy Jim. I'm calling it now. Tyler Kroft ends up as a top 10 tight end for week 3. Disclaimer note, I've been drinking IPAs for 12 hours straight.
Henry or Carson this week? Henry? Somebody actually, cover 2, actually answered that with Carson?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Derrick Henry or Chris Carson?
Henry.
Yeah. Cover 2 answered with Carson.
Comments on Tyler Kroft. I don't remember who Tyler Kroft is.
He's a backup tight end for the Bengals.
Oh, he's in. I could see it.
Yeah, he flashed a little bit the last 27 times that Tyler Eifert's missed time.
I mean, with how banged up and damaged tight end is right now, I wouldn't be amazed. I mean, we're missing two major starters in Eifert and Reed this week. Jimmy Graham is beat to shit. Kyle Rudolph has Case fucking Keenum throwing him the ball.
Case fucking Keenum, yep. Hey, Zach Ertz, possible tight end 1 this week. Not a tight end 1, the tight end 1.
I straight up ranked him that way.
Yeah. Inactives for the Ravens: Brandon Williams, Max Williams, Tony Bergstrom, Chris Wormley, Bronson Kafusi, Jalen Hill, Deget Joseph. So it looks like Yanda is playing.
Yanda's IR'd, I'm pretty sure.
Did he get put on IR? Maybe that's why he's not inactive.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he got IR'd.
I didn't see that he got IR'd, so I just saw that he was hurt. I didn't even see what the severity was. And,
yeah, he fractured his ankle. I doubt he's coming back after a week.
He's playing. Badasses do that. They play on broken ankles. Astro Thomas. Actually, he never played on broken ankle. He played with a grade 2 MCL tear.
Which is still impressive as shit.
Yeah. Which member of the Panthers will have to step up in Greg Olson's absence? A question from the Panthers. Demir Bird, I hope. Devin Funchess, Russell Shepard, or Ed Dixon. I think the answer is Devin Funchess. But
Ed Dixon also isn't a bad call either.
Yeah. Demir Bird, though? God, I hope so. Actually, I think I dropped him in Dynasty this week. I'm not sure, though. I might have. I don't think... No, maybe I didn't.
I don't think you're in a deep enough Dynasty League to have owned Bird in the first place.
I own him in Dan's Dynasty League.
As I was saying, I don't think you're in a deep enough Dynasty League to have owned him in the first place.
I don't know how I ended up owning it. I think we drafted right after he went off that week.
Okay, and you were just taking a $1
I took
upside.
I took a $1 flyer on him, thinking that, well, I'll have to drop him as part of a trade, or at least at the end of the season for rookie drafts, so whatever. He can hold the roster spot.
And then you ended up keeping him way too long.
Though still got him. I don't really... Yeah, I don't know. Go pick up Josh Bellamy?
As much as I hate to say it, I would rather own Josh Bellamy.
At least he's involved.
Abdullah or Carson. Probably taking Abdullah.
Yep.
And then Hopkins or Martavis Bryant. Definitely Hopkins. I am all over the Hopkins train this week. Probably foolishly.
Patriots defense should be all sorts of out of sorts.
Yeah, they have secondary injuries, and that game should be a shootout.
Yep, I would expect that.
Week 1, everyone tells me go Dez. Week 2, everyone says go Dez. Week 3, everyone says go Dez. I mean, Week 2, Dez did beat Hill, so big time,
Yeah.
Timmy Jim. We're 1 for 1 so far. Tyreek Hill is the hill I'm willing to die on this week.
Okay.
That's right up your alley.
The idea of real Donald Trump thinking that suggesting firing me from football confirms that he thinks that it's all I can do as a black man. I don't know about all that, Martellus Bennett, but you're Martellus Bennett, so...
The Bennett brothers do like to make very strange extrapolations from other people's statements.
That's definitely a Bennett brother extrapolation, because, look, I don't agree with anything he said. I don't think in any way does that say that that's all he thinks you can do as an African-American. I think that it's ignorant and pompous what he said, but good God, you have all sorts of points you can make to be like, yeah, go Martellus Bennett, and you still look like an idiot. Well done. All right, 8:20. You ready to wrap this sumbitch up?
Yep, it's time. I'm going to go take the dog for a walk, and we're going to watch some London football here.
All right, so we will probably be all over the Twitter for this one, so be sure to check us out at Beerfield FF if anybody sees this. See ya.